Welcome to another episode on our channel. You've seen him in the last episode. I wanted an electro for the longest time, but I didn't want to pay the price that was being asked for it, and so I kind of passed on it. I saw it on Sideshow for $290, and by the time you get done with taxes and shipping and handling, it's going to be $300 plus. I opted not to get it. So, but I kept my eyes on eBay. Maybe I could get a deal, that sort of thing. The only thing I could see that people are doing more and more these days is they're breaking these things into pieces. So you can get an electro without the head, just the body, and it'll be a lot less than the 300 plus price, but it's still going to be costly. And I saw one body without the energy effects here on the wrist. I saw it listed for $158, and I thought that I'll keep my eye on that one. And then I saw another one, but it was missing the yellow wires coming down, the straps, the metal pieces on the side. That was $94, and I thought, well, maybe I'll keep my eye on that one. And then finally I decided I'm going to do that one because I know where I can get a Jamie Foxx head on eBay, and that'll be about $18. And altogether, then, if I can make these wires and straps and maybe a facade of metal pieces on the sides of the legs, that'll come close. And $94 or $94 and $18 for the head, that seemed more manageable, more doable, more justifiable. And so I decided to go with the $94 one. And then I set about to make the wires here and straps and what looks like metal pieces, may look like metal pieces superficially. And I said, that's pretty good. And I did love the energy effects, but I started looking at those on eBay, and I noticed a pattern. Of the 4 sets that I saw being offered, they were $63, $65, somewhere in that domain, plus $12 shipping and handling. And by the time you get done with taxes, you're starting to look at $75 for just these little tiny things. And I said, I'm not gonna pay for that. Because by the time I get done with that, I'm basically almost paying for a new figure. Well, maybe not that close, but it's more than what I want to spend. And then I thought, well, I got a Hot Toys flash some time ago. Wasn't in a box or anything like that. It was used. It only had one set of hands, but it was the set of hands I liked. And I got a good deal on it. And the person actually sent me these things. And I didn't even know. I guess I did know because it was on the body. But I didn't like them because they're blue. I know they're supposed to represent energy, but flash is red and it didn't match. So I didn't like them. And I thought, well, as I contemplated getting electro, I thought, well, if I do get an electro, I'll use these, paint them yellow, and that should work. But when I tried to paint one of these yellow, in order to keep any translucent features, it wasn't working. And I actually had to take the yellow off of this as best as I could. I didn't get it all off, but the blue kept showing through. And so my wonderful plan just kind of went up in smoke. And then I started to think about how could I do this? Because I really liked the energy effects, but I wasn't going to pay the money for it. And I thought, well, I stumbled onto how to do it. And I'm going to show you how I did it. So this one was my first attempt. And it's not as good as this one is. So I'm hoping to make one today for you guys that I can take this one off and replace that one for, because it seems like I got better from the first one to the second one. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to try to make it for you today and try to yeah, have some close-ups on how it's done. So we'll pause now and I'll get set up for that. And hopefully, if you decide to go this way, get a body, get a Jamie Foxx head separately, and you do want the energy effects, maybe this is something, I know you can do it if you want to take the time to do it. So anyway, we'll be right back. So we are back, and I'm going to use wire that I have. Now, if you have wire that's not painted green, that's perfect. You'll still probably have to paint it, but I'm definitely going to have to paint this yellow. But I'm going to cut pieces out for the wiggly energy lines, but I'm going to start with a circle. So you can probably see this, yeah. So and it has two lines kind of going across. I'm going to leave those intact for now so that I can paint it easier, and then I'll kind of twist it together and so forth. And after everything is painted, then I'll make sure that these little pieces come off. So here it is, just a circle, and I'm just going to kind of bend it once or twist it once so that it is together nicely. But I can still hold on to it so that, I can hold it when I'm putting the hot glue on and basically get the desired look that I want. So here it is. So you're going to need wire, you're going to need something to cut the wire, and you're going to need hot glue. So the last thing you're going to need is paint. And I just happened to choose, let's see, honey mustard satin paint, because it seemed to match the best with the wires at the top. It could be a shade darker, but I don't know. When you're looking at the piece as a whole, it doesn't seem too bad. So in a sense, I'm just doing zigzag lines. And so if I just take this piece of wire at the very top, I'm just going to bend it as sharply as I possibly can. And then just kind of go back and forth so that it has, I don't know, it just looks different all over the place. But it's just back and forth. And it doesn't matter, there's no right or wrong. When I'm doing this with a circle, just to save myself a little effort in terms of the attachment process, what I did is I kind of wrapped, I stuck it in about halfway. I don't know if you can see it, the piece of wire here halfway into the circle, and then just kind of wrapped it around and pull it through the circle. So I got it, hopefully a tight fit. Okay, so it's now wrapped around. And see how it's hanging down now with two ends. So I've got them a little bit apart. And I'm just going to do the wiggly lines again, zigzag back and forth to both pieces. But the neat thing about this is it's kind of less the work. I've created the attachment to the circle, and now I'm creating the wiggly lines. And so now I've got two pieces here that will hang down from the circle, and they will be pretty wiggly. And if you just get about four or five of these on the circle of different lengths, now it's kind of going to look like that. And it's going to hold itself in place with the hot glue once you get it hot glued. So I'm going to do 2 more with a smaller piece, maybe add 1 more to it, and then we'll be right back and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so we'll be right back. So here's the circle, and here are the lines coming down. It may be hard to see, but if I put a white plate in front of it, I think you can see it better now. The wires are wiggly, sort of like the bottom of an octopus, but they're going to be energy effect appendages. So now the key is to paint all of this yellow, other than the piece I'll hold when I'm actually putting the hot glue on. So I'm going to do the painting and then we'll be right back. Now you can see everything is painted yellow, except for the pieces I'm holding in my hand. Everything is yellow. It's very much a zigzag process going on. I'm just going to kind of start with the circular part. Just going around. I'm going to kind of make this part thick because it's going to go around the wrist. So I want it to be fairly snug. All right, got that part done. And then I'm just going to kind of just go along each line basically. And just kind of let it hang down. If I see it needs a little bit more, I'll add a little bit more here and there. And as you start to do this, the pieces will become more stable. They won't wiggle around so much. And you can always, form fit it too. Once you get the glue on, you can move the glue around a little bit more here and there if you think it needs to be shaped a bit more. So I'm like pulling a glob off there. Making sure things are touching the wires as nicely as they possibly can. If too much of a glob is in one place, I'm just going to kind of pull it off a little bit. And then you can kind of go back later on with, looks like a little piece got stuck. I'm going to make sure I can pull that apart. Good. It was hard enough where I could pull it apart. But you can go back later on and just cut the little strands off. Well, you get the idea, I think. So I will fix this up a bit more, cut pieces, make sure it's kind of evenly put on the wires, and I think we'll be good to go. We'll be right back. So here it is. It's dry now. And if there are any threads, there's always going to be little threads of hot glue. When you move from one spot to another, you just pull the threads off. And they come off very easily. If you want to cut them off, you can as well, but pretty much got them off, except where I have little twirlies that I'm okay with. I like that little twirly there. But anyway, it will fit on Electro's hand this way, and it will look like a piece of energy effect, hopefully. So these two pieces will be cut off after I paint this thing. So we will be right back and I will paint them. So we are back and I've got the paint set up. I'm just gonna just do one pass basically. I want some of the translucent stuff to show, so it's not like I'm gonna overly paint it, but enough where the the color is yellow. This doesn't take long to do one of these. From beginning to end, I'd say, what, 15 minutes maybe? Maybe a little longer. If you factor in the drying of the paint on the wire. So it doesn't have to be a perfect job. But I think we've got it. Maybe just a touch more here. Okay. So I'll cut these little pieces off and we'll put it on electro and see how it looks. We'll be right back. We are back and here's electro with the original effect. This was my first attempt. This is my second attempt. And we're just going to take this off. Oops. Keep this up. At the same time, take this off. And put this one on. And get it in a position where it kind of looks halfway decent. And get the hand in there a bit better. Maybe get the longer strand out in front of them. Whoops, not have them fall over at the same time. There we go. How much this cost? 25 cents? Wire, hot glue, paint, period. That's it. Time, 10-15 minutes. Definitely better than $75 plus. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. I had fun making these things and it does match electro and I saved a ton of money doing it. So I am a happy camper. I just took his spare effect and put it on top of his head. I didn't see the movie, but with Sideshow, he's got this thing that covers his face. I think it should be more of a crown, but I think it looks cool. But I won't put it out. But I thought I'd just show that to you guys and wish you again a great day.